Hello, and welcome to our series, Lunch with Live in America. My name is Cynthia Post Hunt, and I'm the programmer for dance and theater at the Momentary. So today we are here with Carra Martinez, our director for Live in America, and our friends from Sumter County, Alabama, Glenda, Gary, and Shayna. And today we're eating bean soup inspired by Glenda's kitchen.
Hey y'all, welcome. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Carra Martinez. I'm the director of Live in America. Live in America is a new festival that celebrates the potency and power of communities in performance. And these communities define performance in every way imaginable. Our communities come from across the US and its territories and a little bit into Mexico. And we're just like super lucky to have this team of folks from Sumter County, Alabama with us on the project, and just to be able to get to know them and eat with them and have lunch with them today. So I'm gonna let them introduce themselves. So whoever would like to go first, you can go.
Who wants to go first? I can go if nobody else wants to.
You're it.
Well, my name is Shayna Berger. I lived in Sumter County for 12 years, was the director, co-director of a place called the Coleman Center, Contemporary Art Space in rural Alabama that I ran with my husband. My experience there was interesting because I was, a guest who was invited by the community for the purpose of making art. And this is really one of the most special experiences belonging to community that I've ever had. And Gary and Glenda were my big time collaborators, and this project is like our reunion, so great. And now I live in Atlanta. That's me.
Glenda, you're up.
All right. Well, I am Glenda James. I am a resident of Sumter County. I live in York. I served with Shayna on the Coleman Center for the Art Board of Directors for a while she was director. I assisted her in some of her projects, but I am a community person. I love the community. I'm a part of the community. I engage in activities that uplift and empower our people in the community. And so I also serve as Gary's mom. And so Shayna is like family to us. We're all family here. And so I am delighted to be here.
And I'm Gary James. I'm Glenda's son, and I also worked at the Coleman Center while Shayna was the executive director, and I basically helped out with anything that was needed. And yeah, I currently live in Oakland, California.
Thanks for being with us today, y'all. I got like in many of these cases, I got to go hang out with everybody in Alabama for a while. It was an amazing trip. It was a trip steeped in history.
Yeah.
Choked up. Yeah. In powerful, powerful ways. But I had a great time. We had great food, great fellowship. So I'm super excited to see how this community shapes both what the festival is that's Live in America. Woo! I'm feeling history today. And like how we think about how we work with communities moving forward. We always start with the same question. And that question is, what does America mean to you? Like, what is that idea? What does it look like in action? All the things that it stirs up inside of you, that idea of America. Will y'all speak to that?
As I feel like when we all start crying as a group.
Well, usually it happens later. Oh, this is happening early.
That question, I was like, oh my God, that's so heavy.
Yeah.
That's my first comment.
Yeah. My glasses. Yeah, I mean, it's let's just name where like it's January, it's mid-January, it's late January. It's a loaded question right now. That's okay. We can like.
Yeah.
Well, for me, America is home. It's a country filled with so much, so many things that unite us and so many things that separate us. And we each can choose what we want to focus on. Being a product of the South, oh, I love the South. Oh, the springtime is green, it's lush, it's beautiful. The fall is, it's crisp, and the colors in the trees, that it's just make, if you're a painter, you want to go in and put something to a canvas. The summers are hot, but they are so enjoyable because you can be outside. We love the outside in the South. We love to, most homes have a front porch and a back porch. And so we like to collaborate and be with families and mingle in the summertime. And in the winter, when we get that little bit of snow, it's the most beautiful thing in the world in the South, to see the frost, see the snow on the trees. And we take pictures and we throw snowballs because we rarely get it. So the beauty of this country is wonderful. But it's also, America means to me, a place that's continuously evolving. It's growing. And that's why I love my community, because in the South, we know of its history. There's so much work that has been done. There's so much work to do. So anything that can empower our people, our community to live and help us to work together is important to me. And America has not lived up to its creed, to its I guess the proper word I'm looking for, what it can be. And in, I guess, light on the hill, it's far from that, but it is what it is. And each of us has a role, I think, to play in helping it to become what it can be. And, you know, it's a special place to me. It's a blessed place for me. I love this country. I think of my ancestors and all of the history that I have within me that has been told to me by my family members, and the all that went into building the fabric of this nation. We all contributed in some ways. And so my family history is very important to me. And I love that little space of land that we own. It has so much history, and it's a sacred ground to me. And Gary knows that. I talk about it all the time. And so when I think of America, I think of that land in which my ancestors has been on for several generations, and it's so special to me. So America, it means a lot. It is special. It needs work, and I can roll up my sleeves and get to it.
Ugh. Well, we're done now. That was amazing.
Yeah.
Who's next? Who wants to echo and talk back to that?
I feel like that's a tough act to follow, but Glenda, you always inspire me. I think you're just a beautiful person. Yeah, that's the thing, right? The creed of America is supposed to be great, but that's kind of not who we are. And that's so hard sometimes. And I want to understand America so badly, and I feel like I still don't. I grew up in Indiana and had a really negative experience growing up in Indiana. And then lived like the next third of my life in York. And I did feel like I understood America a lot better after that. Or understood more what I don't understand. I'm just rambling. Yeah, I read a lot about America, and I'm actually really interested in like the founding period of American history, and like, I feel like even this idea that we have as America as one nation is so confusing and so misleading, and part of the reason we don't really understand what the country is, you know. Yeah. But I love, Glenda, what you said about you know, getting to work and creating the country we want. And I think that that's the part of it that's really great. When we do that, those are the things that are great.
Yeah, yeah, what Mom and Shayna said really resonate with me. I see America as what you make of it, which kind of sounds cliche, but um, I mean, the thing for me that kind of sticks out compared to when I go to other places, because I like to travel a little bit, is in many places, maybe not every place, but in many places, um, you where you end up is really strongly influenced by like who your parents are and like what they did. And while of course there's a degree to that here in the United States, um, there's there's a sense for me that you're not there's a constant kind of ability to grow and evolve over time, and to make of your life what you want. So you're not kind of um, you don't have to be a teacher because your parent was a teacher. You don't have to be a crafts person because your parent was a craft person. You get to kind of define your own way in life. And I think that's the thing that I think treasure the most about like what America's supposed to be. And I just think even in our, kind of in a short period of time in our family, we could see a lot of, evolution over time. And it's kind of amazing to think about, the the ground even one generation is able to travel compared to the previous one. And at least for me, and it's not always the case, but at least for me, it seems like everyone's always going forward, everyone's always going up. Um, that doesn't happen in every place. And that happens even though we aren't always great about how we enable opportunity for everyone. That American spirit, I say it is that spirit of like, I'm gonna get what I want. I'm gonna figure out what I want and I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna sacrifice or, scrimp and save or struggle or get into some really good luck or like make a good bet. Some of it's luck, some of it's work. But there's this sense of like you're always kind of on that upward trajectory, even if it's not linear or a straight line.
It's moving. Yeah, I like that. Thank y'all. As y'all were talking, I started thinking about like having lunch with you, Glenda, where we had lunch at, what was the name of the place in York? I had chicken.
Larkin's Restaurant.
Oh, that was a spiritual experience. If you're in York, please go to Larkin's. Put your cornbread in your collards. Thank you. But I was thinking about the ways that y'all describe America in terms of like labor and movement and being in conversation with each other. And then I was thinking about y'all's sense of community. Could y'all talk to me about like what it means if you're in York, Alabama, what does it mean to collaborate? Like who collaborates? Where are they? I mean, we have a team that's from York that's in a lot of different places right now. Like who's in the room? What are their experiences and their backgrounds? What are the ideas that they're setting with? Like what's in the soup that's going to create a collaboration? Oh, soup. That's so on theme that I said that. Accident.
I'd be really curious what mom has to say about it. Especially just she's been there for so long. My very brief response to that is, I think collaboration starts with some type of um, authentic relationship, at least I think, or an agreement that like whatever you're working on is important, even if that means putting differences aside. But I always think about there's a level of either authentic relationship or some kind of shared goal.
And that's true. Collaboration in Sumter County can be difficult. It really can be. And sometimes when you want to do something, you automatically know what groups not to go to because you know you're not gonna be supported. So you always look for those in the community that have maybe the same mission or the same goals or the same objective. Often, like Gary said, having an existing relationship with someone. So in order to get something done, you have to have a collaboration because we're a small community. There are not a lot of resources. And so you have to build on those who are willing to build with you. And not everyone is willing to assist you in whatever it is that you want to do. And so it can be difficult to find collaborators, people to collaborate with. But oftentimes it happens. If you start out with one group, then you may start out with two and maybe three. And you're really, really lucky if you get 10. But you can get 10 if you always go to the church. You know, there's a church in every corner. And so if you collaborate the church in one community and the church with another, there's so many of them that after a while you have a group that you can work with within that church body. So, but outside of that, there's other groups that you can work with, but those who are in power, those who have the resources, sometimes, not all the time, but I say 90% of the time, are not going to collaborate with those who want to lift the community. That's just the way it is in Sumter County, Alabama. So for those of us who loves our community, who want to lift and empower those within our community, it sometimes can be a difficult task. But we always count on the churches. I just have to come back to that. We have to do that.
I can second that the churches are key to participation. And I kind of wanted to go last on this one because I feel like my experience of living in Sumter County was probably pretty unique in that I was there like trying to foster a community process of art making for like a decade. And I feel like it was, and there are things that are really difficult about working in Sumter County, but mostly I feel like it was the most amazing lens to be in the community through and to work through. And that I think, and maybe this is true in a lot of small towns, but I think there's really a sense of authorship there that like I didn't feel really when I lived in other communities, because sort of like Glenda, what you're talking about, that like if you want to get something done, if you want to do something, you might have to do it yourself. You can't do it alone. You got to do it with other people. And I thought people were just super willing to collaborate in lots of really interesting ways. So like, sure, I'll give you a lamp from my home, or, sure, I'll talk about my childhood memories of eating fruit. Like people were pretty much like I found up for what was sometimes some weird stuff, you know. I thought people were really willing to roll with it. I don't know if it was because people were bored, but it was such a fun place to make art, and the experience of working with the people there, the experience of collaborating. To me, that wasn't what was hard about it. That was absolutely great about it. It was the thing that made the hardships kind of worth it. I know that's not everybody's experience of collaboration in Sumter County, but it was mine. I felt so grateful for it, and it kind of transformed me as a human. Yeah.
I think one of the ways that this team has transformed Live in America is what you're naming, is that you often have, like, in working in the field of art, like habituated ideas of who an artist is and who an art worker is and the spaces they make art and the ways in which they make art. And what we like, our Alabama team is just completely unique. It's different. The composition of it, the placement of it, how you want to work is so different than most of the other communities we're working with. And it's made me really pause and think about all the artists that are living in a place, whether or not their lives look like that in terms of how we normally think about an artist. And like how you need to go sit in people's homes, and like how you need to have dinner with them, and like Shayna like carefully lining up all the different folks I needed to meet, and we'd be driving somewhere and she'd be explaining this person knows this person and this is how, and I'm like learning genealogies, and I just love that, like the deep care and consideration that y'all have towards what it means to be in community. I think that would serve all of us better if we were thinking that hard and that deeply. Yeah, so that's a thing I've learned just from the little bit that we've been working together. Glenda, you talked about like this Alabama, this South, Sumter County, you're in the South. Can y'all tell me, because this is this thing that Cynthia and I think about a lot when you're building a festival and you know you're going to welcome an audience, like what does it mean to host people in the South? What does that look like? Who is there? What are the traditions? What are the gestures? Like what's the ritual of what it means to welcome and host in your community?
It's like family, you know. Hosting is a part. Hospitality is key to the South. You know, we love people. We love hosting people. We love serving people. We love having people in our space, wherever that may be. If it's in our home, if it's in a gallery, we love having people. We enjoy people. And hosting means you gotta have food. You have to have, you know, even sometimes music, activity, laughter, fun. It's an opportunity to bring people together to enjoy each other. Whatever it is you're hosting, whatever's going on, it's just an opportunity to be together, to be family. Hosting is, to me, it's about family. So if you invite someone into your home, you're gonna go all out for that person. So when we host, we want to make people feel welcome. We want them to feel like they are important and that we want you here. And it's awesome.
I love that answer. I love that hosting is, that hosting means we're family. Yeah. I think that's beautiful. That's what I think, that like to really host or welcome someone is to really take responsibility for their well-being, you know? And that means like, I will take your baggage, physical and emotional, and I am responsible for your comfort, you know? To me, it seems like it's a big responsibility. Yeah.
I'm writing this down, taking notes. Gary, anything on this one?
I really can't, you know, add more than Shana and Mom added. I really think, and it's made me think about, me being here as well because I was talking to my husband and who's from Mexico, and I feel like Mexico has a pretty communal culture as well, but a lot of it is like specific to family,
Uh-huh.
whereas I think here I feel like there's this openness to kind of creating family. Um, and I found that I kind of what Mom described. I operate that way. So like if we have a neighbor and like we need something or they need something, I'm going to invest in that relationship in part because there's also this recognition of how we impact each other and how like the well-being of one impacts the well-being of the other. So I will invite people in, like say, oh hey, we made this, like do you want some? um and there's just like a certain openness that I have to kind of making sure getting to know people, kind of laughing with them and passing time with them, that to me is it feels good. Um, so I kind of think about, so back to the question around like, what does it mean to host? I think to host is really about having like empathy and putting basically anticipating what others would need. And if you aren't able to anticipate it, being responsive when those needs are made known to you and doing that readily. That's kind of how I think about hosting.
I'm taking more notes. Cynthia, thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in the hospitality industry, and I feel like that's always my number one. Just thinking to add on to what you all are saying, thinking about how there's the level of being like vulnerability that comes with that, and also like selflessness. Um, and I like to think that I'm someone who anticipates others' needs, and I think that's why I also um, love hosting, but I'm very cautious to offer because I'm like, do I have the energy to do that? But I know we've talked, Shayna and Glenda, we were both talking a few weeks back about this idea, and something, I'm not sure who in our group was talking about the personal like calls to invite folks to the festival, and just thinking about like being hospitable for something like the festival is going so far as to like Gary, how you said, like it's a relationship, and that we're building these relationships actually involve like calling you on the phone and asking you to come, come hang out and come be part of this. And I think it there's a lot of work that goes in with that, but I think that's how you actually grow a community, right? Like you all are talking about that. It's not very easy, but it's well worth it.
Right. And I think to circle it back, like that's how you build empathy. Like, how do you, if there's not a space that you can create where people can who readily and safely, talk about their needs and talk about and share their vulnerability, then how do we create empathy? And I think that's like what we're doing in Live America, is wanting to celebrate all these communities and also wanting to create a space where you can build understanding and empathy for folks who have just vastly different histories and realities than the one that you yourself know. Oh, this conversation, I feel lifted. I feel full in the best way, both, spiritually and in my stomach. Y'all are wonderful. I will say sometimes when I think about things I'm going to be jealous of, there is going to be a big bus ride from Sumter County to Bentonville, like a big like coach bus. And like, I want to be on that bus so bad because I know it's going to be a good time. I know it's also going to be loud, but I know it's going to be such a good time and I can't be on it. But like, if I could like beam down into one early bit of this process, I'm like, oh man, I want to be on that bus coming from Sumter County. Thanks so much for joining us, y'all. Thanks for sharing your stories and your community with us, and have a good rest of your day. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody. That was
y'all.
great.